Hello traders, and welcome back to the Friday wrap-up, August 22nd, 2014. This is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Traders coming to you live from Pattaya, Thailand. It's actually the 23rd, early in the morning my time, and I have to tell you, it's a beautiful, sunny, blue skies and white, sandy beaches. Traders, we don't have any time to be talking around today. We've got like 20 charts to look at. So we've got a lot to do. Well, 20 slides and about 18 charts. But however, let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilda. I'm your moderator. Every single Friday after the New York close for the Friday wrap-up. I started trading in 2006, and in 2008 I retired from a great 27-year career in the fire rescue department out of the great state of Florida. Traders, 9 days later, got on the big airplane, decided to come to Thailand, celebrate my 27-year career for a holiday, and, well, it's 2014, traders, and I am still here. However, the point is, I absolutely love what I do. I love trading the Forex markets. I love being in the fundamentals and the technicals and trying to figure out what's going on, and, of course, it's always a great day when you can take in some profits. But I absolutely adore talking with you every single day because, you know, Monday through Friday, we have the market opening preview before the London Open. And traders, make sure you catch that on Monday. We will review all of last week's news and data as far as indices that have closed after the markets. And we'll talk about our good old friend, Auntie Yellen. All right, traders, this is the Forex disclaimer. Forex has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Traders, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, traders, I was a little bit off on the numbers, but let us get to the 17 daily charts, and we're starting with the dollar index. Just wanted to show you the dollar index. We've been talking about the dollar index now for the last 2 Fridays on the Friday wrap-up, and look at this thing go. The dollar is so strong and continues to be strong, and traders, I have to be honest with you, I think it's going to stay strong probably for another, well, I would say another couple of weeks. At least until the second week of September, until all the big boys get back into the market, and then we'll see what happens. And at that point, earnings seasons should be well over. All right, let's get to some Forex charts. Here's the Pound Aussie, really nice. You know, this was in an uptrend, as you can see on this chart. Actually came down to this 200 exponential moving average that was hit like 5 times. Finally broke through it, and now has remained below the 200 exponential moving average at 1.7984 and remains below. So my bias for this pair is, of course, short. So we're looking for short trade setups as we head into Monday. All right, my favorite pair is the Euro Aussie. I love trading this pair. However, this pair is sitting exactly on support. So not quite sure what's going to happen here. We can see a bounce here. We saw it. We rejected this price level at 42.10, getting close to that 4200 area, and you know we're expecting this to bounce. So it's a good possibility that this Euro Aussie might turn around and all the way back up to that 200 exponential moving average at 1.4609. Great pair to trade though, a lot of fun. Doesn't jerk around. It's not volatile. It's very smooth in its operation, and it's nice to trade when it's doing its thing. So we're gonna see how this is acting now. We'll see if this continues or if we head back up into a change of trend to the upside. All right, guys, let's take a look at the CAD Yen. A lot of news came out last week in the CAD. Not too good at numbers, and then on Friday, or today for you all, they did have some very good numbers. So we can see that it actually spiked above Thursday's high. So we'll see how this opens on Monday. Let's see if we get a gap, and we'll see how this works. But as of right now, my bias is we're going to stay bullish on the CAD yen. It's just, well, as long as the CAD is strong, you know what that means about the euro dollar, right? That means the euro dollar is going to continue to be weak. And we expect the euro dollar just to keep on falling off the cliff. And I'm looking for the euro dollar. We're going to talk about the euro dollar later, but I expect the euro dollar probably to come back down to probably 31 before time is over. All right. Here is another one of my favorites is the Euro New Zealand. Great pair to trade. We can see that it hit support down there at 54.30 area. And this pair actually turned around. And if you look left of the chart, you see that was major support, turned around and headed back up. And looks like it's wanting to come back up to that 200 exponential moving average at 1.5955. So, we'll keep an eye on that. That's a lot of pips. Remember, these are daily charts, so we're really looking long-term here when we talk with these daily charts. Let's go to the pound Swiss. Pound Swiss is kind of interesting. Swiss yen. Because the yen is pretty strong lately, and the Swissy's been strong lately. So you really got two magnets clinging together there. And that's why you see all those candles on that 200 exponential moving average. And then all of a sudden we had a breakout to the upside on Thursday. And now Friday, look at it. Now we have candles, a red candle on Friday. So it's going to be very interesting to see this when we get to Monday. Even though I have to tell you the truth, traders, I don't look at this pair every single day. I brought gold into the picture. Take a look at gold a little bit here. And the reason I brought gold in was because gold has been a big topic, and I'm loving it. Absolutely loving that this thing is all the way back down to 1179. And I'm expecting this to go back down to 900 myself. But we'll see. But at 1272, we'll see what happens here. But it's at least, I think it's going to at least go back to 1100. I think gold's going to fall off the rock. This thing has been overpriced for over 2 years now. It's just, in my opinion, totally ridiculous. When it was at 850 and 900, that was reasonable. But when it got all the way up to, 1360 and stuff like that, I thought that was pretty crazy. So we'll just let it sink and enjoy the ride. Even though for traders, to be honest, I do not trade gold. I do not trade gold. All right, here is our euro dollar. Wow, look at this, huh? Now, if you look at the last week, it's been bullish. Even though now we have dollar strength, how is the euro bullish? There has not been one piece of decent data out of the euro in months, right? And I just don't know how we're getting, like 2 weeks worth of higher lows and higher highs. It just boggles my mind. But the 200 exponential moving average at 138.12 is a magnet, and it looks like this is really drawn to it. And look at today's candle, big red at the market close. It's going to be interesting. This might be on the way back down now. Have to keep an eye on it. Another one of my favorite pairs to trade. I made some nice pips on the Aussie yen this week. This was a great pair. Look at this. Nice and strong. It took out past resistance. So, the sky's the limit on this one. I would, if I was going to trade this daily chart, I'd just stick a line across previous resistance, which is now a support, and see if we could stay above that. And this just might continue to the upside. Okay, here's our good friend, the Beast. We all love the Beast. Pretty volatile this week, up and down. If you take a look at the last 5 days, it's been bullish. However, Thursday and today, we ended up both days with dojis. So, really no direction for coming into next week on Monday. And the 200 is not, in play here. It's pretty far away from current price. One interesting part here is take a look at those Bollinger Bands. Those Bollinger Bands are curled, my friends. And I know it's a daily chart and there's a lot of pips, but regardless, the Bollinger Bands are curled. Cannot wait till we get into September and we can get some volatility back in our markets so we can do some normal trading. It's been a very tough trading summer. All right, here's the dollar CAD. Look at this dollar CAD hanging in there at resistance right at the moment. Closed yesterday as a doji. Previous day was a red day. It closed down. Now it's at a doji. Is this reversing? And is that euro going to continue to head to the upside? And what about the pound? The pound dollar is correlated to the CAD, so we'll see what's going to happen with that. And also remember that the CAD is a commodity pair with oil. So there's a lot of factors here that go into this pair. But if you look at this, spatially, you can see that this is basically in a massive range. All right, let's head over to the New Zealand dollar, which is one of my favorite pairs to trade. It's such a nice, easy pair. If you're new to trading and you're under 6 months trading, just trade the New Zealand dollar. Everybody says, oh, go trade the euro dollar, No, go trade the New Zealand dollar. It moves smooth. It reacts to its fundamentals. It's very predictable. It reacts to candlesticks formations. If you're using Renko bars, it reacts to Renko bars. It's just a really good pair. Support, resistance, and its fundamentals. So nice pair to trade. If you're new to trading, I would recommend that pair to trade, the New Zealand dollar. All right, here's the Aussie dollar. Now, the crazy Aussie, this pair is just absolutely out of its mind. It's been out of its mind for the last month. I've been saying it for weeks. I just trade this. I haven't actually taken a live trade in the Aussie dollar, and traders, I have to tell you, it's got to be probably over a month. This pair is just all over the place. Every day is a new day, and there's just no direction. It's not telling us anything. We've got dojis, and then it's support. We got hammers. I mean, we don't know what the heck is going on with this pair. So I'd be very careful trading the Aussie dollar until we get some really nice direction. Look at this pair. Look at this dollar yen. Can we say the dollar is strong? Yeah, apparently. Look at this. This is broken some. This is above 102. We're at 102.86 here. This is like amazing, and this has moved some nice pips in the last week. The last 6 trading days. Look at how many pips this has moved to the upside because the dollar is so strong right now. So very interesting. So definitely keep an eye on the dollar yen, as I don't trade this pair on a regular basis, but I do use it as a trading tool. All right, let's go to the pound dollar. We're always talking about the pound dollar. I trade the pound dollar a lot. This looks like a change of trend to me. I said that last Friday. We are bearish. We are below the 200 exponential moving average. Remember, last week we were at the 200 exponential moving average and was wondering if it was going to bounce or if it was going to continue the downtrend. Well, it is continuing the downtrend, and that's why we're seeing our dollar CAD go up. And traders, only one bias to have, and that is we're going to sell the pound dollar. Just sell it. Dollar strength. All right. Dollar Swiss. I thought we talked about this. Did I put a double in there? Anyhow, the dollar Swiss is bullish. It's taken out the last week's previous high. So the only way to trade the dollar Swiss is to the upside. Remember, the dollar Swiss is correlated with the euro, which is the next slide I'm going to show you. And you'll see that the dollar Swiss is up. And if the dollar Swiss is up, what does that mean about the euro? Well, let me show you, traders. Absolutely. Look at this euro dollar chart. This is so bearish. I think they said that the pound dollar was below a 4-month low, and I'm not sure about the euro dollar, but we're pretty low, my friends. We're at 1.32 at the moment. So yeah, this is bearish, and apparently I was not up for Jackson Hole speech. It was pretty late my time in Thailand, and apparently the news wasn't good out of that. Not with that big red candle. And of course, our good friend Auntie Yellen, the FOMC chairman, Janet Yellen, apparently basically made no commitment on either side. She basically rode the fence and really didn't say anything. So interesting note on that part. Well, that ends our chart review of the daily charts, and there's quite a few. And I think it's really important that we talk about charts instead of news and commentary on the Friday wrap-up. It's more important we focus and see what's going on for the next week. So this will just give you a little overview of what we can start to look for. And on, your weekend, and you start looking at charts that you want to play with next week and take trades on, you have some sort of a overview. Traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends FXCL Excellence in Trading, I'd like to thank you for joining us for another Friday wrap-up. Traders, don't forget, the market morning opening preview will be on Monday, before the London Open. And we'll get into a lot of news and some numbers because we did not do it on the Friday wrap-up. So we'll take care of that on Monday. Traders, have a great weekend. Enjoy your break. You deserve it. Take a nice rest, re-energize, and we'll catch you on Monday. Traders, live from Pattaya, Thailand. Take care and